The emergency session of the Senate Intelligence Committee had been convened with unprecedented urgency at 6 a.m. on Thursday morning, as senators rushed to the Capitol's most secure briefing room to receive what Chairman Mark Warner had described as the most critical intelligence briefing in the committee's 50-year history. The soundproof chamber, buried deep beneath the Capitol building, had never hosted such a comprehensive gathering of America's senior intelligence leadership alongside the committee's bipartisan membership, all summoned to address Attorney General Pam Bondi's shocking revelation of Iranian espionage networks that had metastasized across the entire continental United States. Committee Chairman Warner and Ranking Member Marco Rubio sat at the head of the secure conference table, flanked by Senators Dianne Feinstein, Tom Cotton, Angus King, and Susan Collins, while the committee's full membership filled the remaining seats around the polished mahogany table. Facing them were Attorney General Bondi, FBI Director Christopher Wray, CIA Director William Burns, NSA Director General Paul Nakasone, and Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines, the most senior intelligence officials in American government assembled to brief Congress on a threat that had fundamentally altered their understanding of Iranian capabilities within the United States. Chairman Warner, Ranking Member Rubio, distinguished members of the committee, Attorney General Bondi began, her voice carrying the weight of intelligence discoveries that had kept the entire American intelligence community working around the clock for the past week. I have requested this emergency classified briefing because we have uncovered evidence of Iranian espionage networks that have grown to unprecedented scale and sophistication across every region of the United States, representing the most extensive foreign intelligence operation ever discovered on American soil. She activated the committee's secure display systems, revealing a comprehensive intelligence analysis that painted a terrifying picture of Iranian espionage capabilities that stretched from the Atlantic to the Pacific, from the Canadian border to the Mexican border, with tentacles reaching into every major American city and critical infrastructure system. The main screen showed a dynamic map of the United States, covered with an intricate web of red lines, connecting hundreds of Iranian operatives, support networks, communication nodes, and intelligence targets across all 50 states. What we have discovered over the past 7 days of intensive investigation is not simply espionage in the traditional sense, Bondi continued, pointing to specific network connections displayed on the screen. The Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security, working in coordination with the Revolutionary Guard Corps intelligence organization, has established what intelligence analysts are calling a comprehensive penetration matrix, a systematic infiltration of American society designed to gather intelligence, influence operations, and position sabotage capabilities at every level of American government, military, and civilian infrastructure. Chairman Warner leaned forward, studying the network analysis with growing alarm. Madam Attorney General, when you say every level, are you telling us that Iranian intelligence networks have penetrated federal agencies, state governments, local authorities, and private sector organizations simultaneously? Chairman Warner, that's exactly what our investigation has revealed. Iranian intelligence services have been operating coordinated espionage networks that span federal agencies in Washington, D.C., state government offices in all 50 state capitals, major metropolitan police departments, critical infrastructure companies, defense contractors, technology firms, financial institutions, and academic research centers across the entire United States. She clicked to the next section of the briefing, revealing detailed organizational charts that showed the hierarchical structure of Iranian intelligence operations within the United States. Unlike traditional espionage operations that focus on specific targets or geographic regions, the Iranian networks we've identified represent a comprehensive intelligence ecosystem designed to gather information and influence operations across every sector of American society simultaneously. The implications sent a chill through the committee room. Ranking Member Rubio had spent years analyzing foreign intelligence threats, but had never encountered evidence of such systematic penetration of American institutions. Madam Attorney General, how many Iranian intelligence operatives and assets are we talking about? And how long have these networks been operating without detection? Senator Rubio, our current assessment indicates that Iranian intelligence networks within the United States include over 400 active operatives, more than 800 recruited American assets, and approximately 1,500 individuals who provide various forms of support or intelligence to Iranian operations. Our analysis suggests that some of these networks have been developing for over 20 years. The numbers were staggering. Senator Cotton studied the intelligence displays with the experience of someone who had served on intelligence committees for nearly a decade. Madam Attorney General, you're describing an Iranian intelligence presence within the United States that rivals the scale of operations we might expect to see during wartime. How did such extensive networks develop without triggering our counterintelligence systems? Senator Cotton, the Iranian intelligence services have employed what we call generational development strategies that have allowed them to build networks gradually over decades while avoiding detection through traditional counterintelligence methods. They have systematically recruited Americans, established legitimate business and academic relationships, and positioned operatives in ways that appear completely normal to security screening procedures. She moved to a classified section of the briefing that revealed the sophisticated tradecraft employed by Iranian intelligence services to avoid detection while building comprehensive espionage networks. For example, Iranian intelligence services have established over 60 legitimate businesses across the United States that serve as cover for intelligence operations while simultaneously conducting actual commercial activities that generate revenue and provide authentic business justification for their presence. The photographs on the screen showed ordinary American businesses, a consulting firm in Virginia, a technology company in California, a shipping company in New York, an energy consulting firm in Texas. Each appeared to be a normal American business with legitimate operations, but intelligence analysis had revealed that they were all components of Iranian intelligence networks designed to gather information and influence American decision-making. Senator Feinstein had been reviewing classified personnel files on her secure tablet. Madam Attorney General, I'm looking at profiles of Iranian intelligence operatives who appear to have been living normal American lives for years. Some have American spouses, American children, and deep community involvement. How do we differentiate between legitimate Iranian Americans and foreign intelligence operatives? Senator Feinstein, that's one of the most challenging aspects of this investigation. Iranian intelligence services have deliberately recruited individuals who can establish authentic American identities and genuine community relationships. Many of their operatives are, for all practical purposes, genuine members of American society who happen to also be serving Iranian intelligence interests. She displayed specific case studies that demonstrated the complexity of Iranian integration into American society. For instance, we've identified Dr. Reza Ahmadi, who has been a professor of electrical engineering at a major American university for 12 years, has published extensively in academic journals, and has supervised graduate students who now work for major American technology companies. Dr. Ahmadi appears to be a distinguished American academic, but our investigation has revealed that he has been systematically gathering intelligence on American technological capabilities and passing information to Iranian intelligence services. CIA Director Burns had been analyzing the international implications of Iranian espionage networks. Madam Attorney General, what's our assessment of Iranian intelligence coordination with other hostile foreign services? Are we looking at independent Iranian operations or collaborative efforts with Chinese, Russian, or other intelligence services? Director Burns, that's where this threat becomes even more serious. We have identified extensive coordination between Iranian intelligence networks and operatives linked to Chinese Ministry of State Security, Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, and even North Korean intelligence organizations. The Iranian networks appear to be serving as a platform for multiple foreign intelligence services to conduct operations within the United States. The possibility of coordinated espionage operations by multiple hostile foreign intelligence services using Iranian networks as a foundation represented a nightmare scenario for American counterintelligence professionals. She activated another section of the briefing showing intercepted communications between Iranian operatives and foreign intelligence services from other countries. We have communications intercepts showing Iranian operatives sharing intelligence gathered from American sources with Chinese intelligence services while simultaneously coordinating operational activities with Russian intelligence assets within the United States. NSA Director General Nakasone had been studying signals intelligence analysis on his secure workstation. Madam Attorney General, our communications intercepts indicate that Iranian intelligence networks are using advanced communication systems that suggest real-time coordination with foreign intelligence headquarters in Tehran, Beijing, and Moscow. Are we dealing with a coordinated international intelligence alliance operating within the United States? General Nakasone, that appears to be exactly what we're facing. Iranian intelligence networks within the United States are serving as a coordination mechanism for what intelligence analysts are calling a multinational espionage consortium that allows hostile foreign powers to share intelligence, coordinate operations, and maximize their impact on American national security. The revelation that Iranian espionage networks were facilitating coordinated intelligence operations by multiple hostile foreign powers represented a fundamental threat to American national security that went far beyond traditional espionage concerns. Senator King had been analyzing the geographic distribution of Iranian intelligence networks. Madam Attorney General, I noticed that Iranian espionage activities appear to be concentrated not just in major metropolitan areas, but also in smaller cities and rural regions. What's driving this geographic dispersion? Senator King, Iranian intelligence services have recognized that American critical infrastructure and strategic assets are distributed throughout the country, not just concentrated in major cities. They have systematically positioned operatives near military installations, energy facilities, transportation hubs, and communication centers regardless of their geographic location. She displayed a detailed map showing Iranian intelligence presence in rural and suburban areas that most Americans would never suspect of hosting foreign espionage operations. For example, we've identified Iranian operatives in small towns near nuclear power plants, military bases, oil refineries, and agricultural research centers. They understand that disrupting American society requires targeting infrastructure and capabilities wherever they are located. Director of National Intelligence Haynes had been coordinating with other intelligence agencies to assess the full scope of Iranian penetration. Madam Attorney General, what's our assessment of Iranian intelligence success in accessing classified information and sensitive capabilities? Have they been able to gather intelligence that could compromise American national security or military operations? Director Haynes, that's perhaps the most concerning aspect of our investigation. We have evidence that Iranian intelligence networks have successfully accessed classified information from multiple federal agencies, defense contractors, and research institutions. The scope of potential intelligence compromise may take years to fully assess and address. She revealed specific examples of Iranian intelligence successes that painted an alarming picture of American vulnerability. Iranian operatives have accessed classified information about American military capabilities, defense technologies, intelligence operations, diplomatic communications, and strategic planning. They have essentially been conducting comprehensive intelligence collection against the United States across all sectors of national security. The committee members absorbed the implications of systematic Iranian intelligence success against American targets. Senator Collins had been studying the timeline of Iranian network development. Madam Attorney General, if Iranian intelligence networks have been operating for over 20 years and have achieved such extensive penetration of American institutions, what does this mean for our current understanding of American national security vulnerabilities? Senator Collins, we have to assume that Iranian intelligence services, and potentially their foreign partners, have detailed knowledge of American capabilities, vulnerabilities, and strategic planning that could be used against American interests in any potential conflict or crisis. This intelligence advantage could significantly compromise American national security in ways we're only beginning to understand. The briefing continued for another 4 hours as senators questioned intelligence officials about every aspect of Iranian espionage networks and their implications for American national security. Each revelation painted an increasingly alarming picture of foreign intelligence penetration that challenged fundamental assumptions about American security and sovereignty. FBI Director Wray outlined the law enforcement response to Iranian espionage networks. We are implementing Operation Coast Guard, the most extensive counter-espionage investigation in FBI history. We will systematically investigate every identified Iranian intelligence operative and asset while working to assess and mitigate the damage caused by their espionage activities. The operation would require unprecedented coordination between federal agencies, state and local law enforcement, and international intelligence partners. Phase 1 involves comprehensive surveillance and investigation of all identified Iranian intelligence networks. Phase 2 implements arrests and prosecutions under the Espionage Act and related statutes. Phase 3 focuses on damage assessment and mitigation of compromised information and capabilities. As the committee session concluded, Chairman Warner addressed the assembled senators and intelligence officials with the gravity of someone who understood they had just learned about a threat that fundamentally challenged American national security assumptions. Ladies and gentlemen, Attorney General Bondi has just revealed that Iranian intelligence networks have achieved a level of penetration into American society that exceeds anything we have previously encountered. These networks span every region of our country, every level of government, and every sector of our economy and national security apparatus. He looked around the room at each committee member and intelligence official. The implications of this Iranian espionage success are staggering. We must assume that hostile foreign intelligence services have detailed knowledge of American capabilities and vulnerabilities that could be used against us in any international crisis or conflict. The committee members understood they had just received intelligence that would fundamentally alter American counterintelligence priorities and national security planning for years to come. The revelation that Iranian espionage networks had achieved such comprehensive penetration of American society represented a strategic intelligence defeat that would require massive resources and sustained effort to address. As the officials dispersed to begin implementing Operation Coast Guard, Attorney General Pam Bondi remained behind to coordinate with congressional leadership and intelligence committees. The exposure of Iranian espionage networks growing coast to coast had revealed a threat that went beyond traditional espionage. It represented a systematic assault on American sovereignty and national security that had been conducted with patience, sophistication, and remarkable success over more than 2 decades. Standing in the Senate Intelligence Committee's secure briefing room, surrounded by classified documents and intelligence analysis that documented the scope of Iranian penetration, Bondi reflected on the magnitude of what American counterintelligence forces would need to accomplish to restore American security. The Iranian intelligence services had achieved what may have been the most successful foreign espionage operation in American history, establishing networks that spanned the entire continental United States and had successfully gathered intelligence from American government, military, and civilian institutions for over 20 years. But the Iranian success had finally been discovered, and American counterintelligence capabilities were mobilizing to root out every Iranian operative and assess every compromise. The battle to restore American security would be long and complex, but Attorney General Pam Bondi was determined to demonstrate that America would never tolerate such extensive foreign intelligence penetration of American society. Within hours of the Senate briefing, Bondi had established a national counterintelligence task force that brought together every major American intelligence agency, military command, and law enforcement organization. The FBI's Washington field office had been expanded to accommodate the largest counter-espionage operation in American history, where intelligence analysts, federal agents, military intelligence specialists, and cyber warfare experts worked around the clock to map and neutralize Iranian espionage networks across all 50 states. The first major operational success came from the FBI's San Francisco field office, where Special Agent Maria Santos had been conducting surveillance on Hamid Hosseini, an Iranian operative who had been working as a software engineer for a major Silicon Valley technology company, while simultaneously gathering intelligence on American technological capabilities. Madam Attorney General, Agent Santos reported during the morning operational briefing, we've intercepted communications showing that Hosseini has been systematically accessing proprietary information about American artificial intelligence research, quantum computing development, and advanced semiconductor manufacturing. He's been passing detailed technical specifications to Iranian intelligence services for over 5 years. The possibility that Iranian intelligence networks had been accessing America's most advanced technological research and development represented a strategic loss that could take decades to fully understand and address. Agent Santos, what's our assessment of the scope of technological intelligence that Iranian networks have accessed through Silicon Valley operations. Ma'am, based on our preliminary investigation, Iranian operatives may have accessed information about virtually every major American technology development over the past decade. They've positioned operatives within companies that are developing the next generation of American military and civilian technologies. Meanwhile, the CIA's Counterintelligence Center had been analyzing the international implications of Iranian espionage networks and their coordination with other hostile foreign intelligence services. Dr. Jennifer Martinez had discovered that Iranian networks were serving as a central hub for coordinated intelligence operations by multiple foreign powers. Madam Attorney General, Dr. Martinez reported via secure video conference, Iranian intelligence networks within the United States are functioning as what we call an espionage clearinghouse that allows Chinese, Russian, and other foreign intelligence services to access American intelligence without having to develop their own extensive networks. She displayed network analysis showing how Iranian operatives were sharing intelligence with foreign services while simultaneously coordinating operational activities. The Iranians have essentially created an intelligence sharing system that multiplies the effectiveness of every hostile foreign intelligence service operating against American interests. The revelation that Iranian networks were serving multiple foreign intelligence services simultaneously represented a force multiplier that had allowed hostile foreign powers to achieve intelligence success against American targets, far beyond what any single foreign service could have accomplished independently. Special Agent Michael Rodriguez from the FBI's Miami field office had been investigating Iranian intelligence operations in South Florida, where operatives had been focusing on gathering intelligence about American military operations and international activities in Latin America and the Caribbean. Madam Attorney General, Rodriguez reported during the evening briefing, Iranian operatives in South Florida have been systematically gathering intelligence about American military and intelligence operations throughout Latin America. They appear to be coordinating with Iranian intelligence networks in Venezuela, Cuba, and other countries hostile to American interests. The possibility that Iranian espionage networks within the United States were coordinating with Iranian intelligence operations throughout the Western Hemisphere represented a comprehensive intelligence challenge that extended far beyond American borders. Dr. Lisa Thompson from the Department of Defense's Counterintelligence Division had been analyzing the military implications of Iranian intelligence success against American defense capabilities. Madam Attorney General, if Iranian intelligence networks have been accessing classified information about American military capabilities for over 20 years, we have to assume that Iran and its allies have detailed knowledge of American defense vulnerabilities that could be exploited in any potential conflict. The strategic implications were staggering. Iranian intelligence success could potentially compromise American military advantages that had been developed over decades of research, development, and investment. The possibility that hostile foreign powers had detailed knowledge of American defense capabilities represented a strategic intelligence loss that could alter the military balance in any future conflict. As intelligence continued to flow in from field offices and analysis centers across the country, the true scope of Iranian espionage success became clearer. This was not just intelligence gathering, it was a comprehensive assault on American national security that had been conducted with remarkable sophistication and success over more than 2 decades. Standing in the National Counterintelligence Task Force Command Center, surrounded by intelligence analysts and federal agents working to uncover the full extent of Iranian penetration, Attorney General Pam Bondi knew that the battle to restore American security would require sustained effort and unprecedented resources. The Iranian intelligence services had achieved what may have been the most successful foreign espionage operation in American history, but their success had finally been discovered. American counterintelligence capabilities were now mobilizing to demonstrate that the United States would never tolerate such extensive foreign intelligence penetration and would respond with overwhelming force to restore American security. Operation Coast Guard would mark the beginning of the most comprehensive counter-espionage campaign in American history, designed to root out every Iranian operative, assess every intelligence compromise, and restore American national security against this unprecedented foreign threat. Attorney General Pam Bondi was determined to prove that while Iranian intelligence services had achieved remarkable success against American targets, the ultimate victory would belong to American counterintelligence forces defending the homeland against all foreign threats.